Hi guys, this is Niranjan Subramanya Hegde from Jiva Shastra Abhyasa. So you are looking at the particular screen window where you can see a particular very important thing that today we are going to start to solve 2018 CET question paper solving series. This is the part 1 of question where I am going to solve 20 questions. So in 3 parts this video is going to come. Okay, so not only 2018 CET papers we are going to solve, we are going to solve a number of CET question papers during the coming days because it's very near for your examinations. Soon after your second year Karnataka NCERT students, soon after your examination, so you are going to face the CET examinations. I am going to solve today biology 2018 CET question paper. Part 1, only 20 questions. I am again repeating 20 questions. Okay, so you can see if you are looking at this video, so if you haven't subscribed till now, please subscribe to the channel. Okay, fine. So we will move on. Okay, so let's see the first question. That is, the correct sequence of taxonomic hierarchy is. This is the first year's question of the first topic, right? So do you remember that? So first topically e question is there. So which is that? The correct sequence of taxonomic hierarchy. Hierarchy ಯಾವ ತರದಲ್ಲಿ ಇದೆ? Okay, fine. So let's look at the options. There are 4 options. You are looking at the screen. Can you give me any, or can you take a hint of this, any of the answer? So you can think of whenever you are looking at this video. So let's see. So genus, family, class, order, phylum, kingdom. So this is not the answer for you because first will be the from the lower bottom, it is not the genus, and in the top there will be no species is going to be seen. So then it is absolutely or damn wrong, we can say, right? Okay, then first we have learned it that, so first is going to come is the species, then genus, then is it family? Yes, family, then order, then class, phylum, and kingdom. So what are these particular things? What are species, genus, family, order, class, phylum, and kingdom? That we are going to know in this video. So it is not a simple solution process we are going to do. So we are going to learn, so what are the other things which are present in the particular options available there. So species are a group of individuals which can interbreed themselves in themselves. They are the same type of organisms which can interbreed in themselves. So those are species. Then genus, these are the group of species. So group of the some of the organisms which are present in the species, they are togetherly known as genus. Then what is genus? You can directly guess it. That is the species which comes under the genus, and the genus, the group of genus, the organisms which are present. There are a lot of genus will be there, but species will be in under the genus. There will be lot of species can come, but genus there will be only one genus for one organism. Okay, so but species may be different thing that. So genus, the group of genus will come under the family, and the lot of families will come is going to come under this particular order. Okay, orderly barutte. So then like that same, the order will, a lot of order will be combining with class, and that will be combining with phylum, and here it will be kingdom. We can take the example for phylum, like phylum protozoa, phylum Animalia, sorry, phylum Angiospermae. These are the example for phylum. A particular group of phylum will make a kingdom. A group of phylum will make a whole kingdom. For example, for kingdom, it is the example is the Plantae, and also the Animalia. So this is your right answer, because the first one was wrong and the second one is the correct answer for this question. Then let's see why these two are not right. So after the species, always there should be, it as a higher taxonomic hierarchy. In the taxonomic hierarchy, always after the species, soon after the species, there should be the genus, not the family. Here only this particular answer goes wrong. Okay, but here the option number D is slightly confusing for you. So once you see this particular three options, it is right. Okay, it is right, but so here only one thing is replaced, that is order should be in the place of class and the class has to be in the place of order. So that's why, so this misplacement has created the mistake. So that's why this is also a wrong answer. Okay, now let's move on to the next question. That is, the question is, match the animals of the column 1 with their respective classes in the column number 2. Okay, column number 2. Column number 2 and choose the correct answer given below. So you have been given the answer here. So A, B, C, D. So whichever the answer you have to choose. So let's see how we can choose the answer. First we have to know about the animals. So that animals has been given in the form of genus in the column 1. Genus alli, column 1 alli. So it has been given in the genus format. Okay, the first genus, that is aptenodytes. Aptenodytes are the great penguins. Are the great penguins. Are the great penguins, which comes under the class Aves. So that's why comes under the class Aves. That's why it is first option. Then the next one is Hemidactylus. Hemidactylus. So these Hemidactylus are the geckos, the like house gecko. House gecko. House gecko is nothing but the halli. Halli we call it in Kannada. ಕನ್ನಡದಲ್ಲಿ ಏನಂತ ಕರಿತೀವಿ, ಹಲ್ಲಿ ಅಂತ ಕರಿತೀವಲ್ಲ, ಆ ಜೀನಸ್ಗೆ ಸೇರಿದಂಥದ್ದು ಇದು ಗೆಕ್ಕೋ. ಸೊ ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಯಾವುದು ಗೆಕ್ಕೋ ಯಾವ್ದ್ರ ಅಂಡರ್ ಬರುತ್ತೆ, ಈ ಹಲ್ಲಿಗಳು ಯಾವ್ದ್ರ ಅಂಡರ್ ಬರುತ್ತೆ, ಇಟ್ ಕಮ್ಸ್ ಅಂಡರ್ ದ ರೆಪ್ಟೀಲಿಯಾ. ದಟ್ ಇಸ್ ದ ಸೆಕೆಂಡ್ ಒನ್. ಸೊ ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಅದು ಎಷ್ಟನೇ ಆಪ್ಷನ್, ಫೋರ್ತ್ ಒನ್ ಅಲ್ವಾ, ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಬರೆಯಕ್ಕಾಗಲ್ಲ, ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಬರ್ತೀನಿ, ಫೋರ್ತ್ ಒನ್. ಓಕೆ ದೆನ್ the third one is Carcharodon. Carcharodons are the white sharks. These are the white shark. This is the trickiest one, because you can see two classes there. One is Chondrichthyes and Osteichthyes, which comes under the fishes itself, right? Fishes. So that's why we have to know what is Chondrichthyes and what is Osteichthyes. Osteichthyes are the scaly fishes, but Chondrichthyes is, it doesn't bears any scales on the body of the fish. As you know that, so sharks doesn't have any scales, so skin will be there on the skin is there. There is no presence of scales over the body, so that's why it comes under the Chondrichthyes. That is option is second one, right? Second one option. Okay, then so it is almost, you can look here, almost it is, we are coming near to the, so option number, we can say, so first option, so we have to remove this option, right, A, and we have to remove the option number C also, because the first one is not there, so it is completely wrong. So if we consider option number B and option number D, so first one is right. Okay, first one is right, second one is also right in the both, but when we come to the third carcharodon, it is there, it has been given wrong. So that's why this is also a wrong answer. So last option is left with the third one. That let's check, it is the answer what you're looking at. The D, option number D is your answer. Option number D is the answer. Let's look, is it right or not? Let's cross check it. Okay, so pteropus, pteropus is the flying fox. Bats alva, bats ಯಾವ್ದ್ರಲ್ಲಿ ಅಂಡರಲ್ಲಿ ಬರುತ್ತೆ? Mammalia ಅಲ್ವಾ? Mammalia ಅಂಡರಲ್ಲಿ ಬರುತ್ತೆ. ಸೊ Mammalia ಅಂಡರಲ್ಲಿ ಬಂತು ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಅರ್ಥ ಏನು? So it is option number 3. So then the answer is, our cross check has given us the right answer. Okay, let's move to the next question. Okay, the next question is a very simple question, that is choose the correct floral formula present in this particular thing. So which one we have to choose? We have to directly, we can choose, easy. So easiest question. So this is, first we have to know the parts of it. This is what this is calyx, this is corolla, and this is androecium, right? Androecium, and this is gynoecium, isn't it? Yes. Okay, let's see. So let's take this 4 only. So let's consider 4 only. Okay, I have started. Calyx is, total number of calyx are 4, but they have arranged in the format 2 plus 2, because so 2 are inside and 2 are outside the whorl. So ಎರಡು ಒಳಗಡೆ ಇದೆ, ಎರಡು ಹೊರಗಡೆ ಇದೆ. So that's why we consider as 2 plus 2. Okay, then comes to the corolla. So they are in a whorl, but they are not have any connections, or they haven't come one over the other, they didn't overlap, they are freely moving. So that's why we consider them in corolla as 4. We can easy formula, so we cannot go, we should not, we don't think the scientific terms here. Simple, it is very simple. And androecium, so you can see 4 are in whorl. Okay, 4 are in whorl. So whorl means on the circle alli ಇದೆ, 4 are in whorl and 2 are outside. So we can consider them as 2 plus 4. Okay, so then gynoecium, it is closed, right? Enclosed agide and 2 ovules ಇದೆ. That's why we can easily crack this particular thing. But so in the option that have been given, two abbreviations have been given. Don't confuse with that. That is actinomorphic and another one is bisexual. Just add this. So look at the option, which is that answer is, so the I think yes, so here it is C. So the answer number C, that is option number C is your answer. Okay, fine. So this is the third question we have completed. Okay, let's move to the next question. Okay, question number 4, right? Question number 4, that is, in which type of vascular bundles, so vascular bundles are which has xylem and phloem, right? Phloem ಇರೋದಕ್ಕೆ ನಾವು vascular bundle ಅಂತ ಕರಿತೀವಿ. Okay, so bundles are xylem and phloem present at the same radius. ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಒಂದೇ ರೇಡಿಯಸ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ xylem ಕೂಡ ಇರಬೇಕು and phloem ಕೂಡ ಇರಬೇಕು, either this way or either this way. So ಯಾವುದರಲ್ಲೇ ಇರಲಿ, ಸೊ ಎರಡು ಒಂದೇ ಡೈರೆಕ್ಷನ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಇರಬೇಕು, ಒಂದೇ ರೇಡಿಯಸ್ 90 ಡಿಗ್ರಿ ಅಂದ್ರೆ 90 ಡಿಗ್ರಿಲೇ ಇರಬೇಕು, ರೈಟ್? ಇನ್ ದ ಓನ್ಲಿ ಸಿಂಗಲ್ ರೇಡಿಯೈ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಇರಬೇಕು. ಸೊ ದಟ್ಸ್ ಇಟ್ ಇಸ್ ಕಾಲ್ಡ್ ಆಸ್ single radius ಅಲ್ಲಿ. So there are lot of type of vascular bundle system is there. Okay, there are lot of different kinds of vascular bundle system is there. So options have given for you is radial, closed, cone joint and exarch. First let's start from the radial. So radial type of in the radial type of vascular system, the phloem and xylem lies one beside the other or alternatively. So that ಅದು ಹೇಗೆ ಅಂದ್ರೆ phloem, ಈಗ phloem ಆದ ತಕ್ಷಣ xylem ಬರುತ್ತೆ, xylem ಆದ ತಕ್ಷಣ phloem ಬರುತ್ತೆ, ಮತ್ತೆ xylem ಬಂತು, ಮತ್ತೆ phloem ಬಂತು, ಮತ್ತೆ xylem ಬಂತು, ಮತ್ತೆ phloem ಬಂತು, ಮತ್ತೆ xylem ಬರುತ್ತೆ. Like this is the radial type of arrangement. So does a single ಒಂದೇ radius ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಬಂತಾ, ಎಲ್ಲರೂ ಬಂತಾ, ಇಲ್ಲ ತಾನೆ. So phloem xylem ಒಂದೇ radius ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಬಂತಾ, no. So then it comes for the closed. So here we can consider, so whenever there is a presence of this radius or xylem ಯಾವ angle ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಇದೆ, ಯಾವ ಇದರಲ್ಲಿ ಇದೆ ಬರಬೇಕಾದ್ರೆ, before that, so there should be a differentiation in between them. Okay, ಅದು ಯಾವ differentiation, that is differentiation is cambial layer ಅಲ್ವಾ, cambial layer ಇರಬೇಕು. So but in closed type of system there is no cambial layer is found, so that's why we can directly eliminate the option. Okay, so cambial layer ಇಲ್ದೋದ್ರಿಂದ ಅದರಲ್ಲಿ ಯಾವುದೇ ಮಾತು ಬರಲ್ಲ, ಒಂದೇ ಲೇಯರ್ ಒಂದೇ ರೇಡಿಯಲ್ಲಿ ಇರುತ್ತಾ ಇಲ್ಲ ಅಂತ. But cone joint, so if we consider cone joint, in this cone joint type of vascular system, so the xylem and phloem will be present in the same radius. ಇಲ್ಲಿ xylem ಇದ್ರೆ ಇಲ್ಲಿ phloem ಇರುತ್ತೆ, ಇಲ್ಲಿ xylem ಇದ್ರೆ ಇಲ್ಲಿ phloem ಇರುತ್ತೆ, xylem phloem ಅಂತ ಬರ್ತಾ ಹೋಗುತ್ತೆ ಅದೇ ತರ. So that's why they are present in the same. ಹೇಗೆ ಬರ್ಬೋದು, ಇರ್ಬೋದು, ಹೀಗಿರ್ಬೋದು, anyway. So in this manner it will. So then this is the right answer of the question. But if we consider exarch, it is a different kind of system. Idralli ಏನು ಬರೋದಿಲ್ಲ. So we cannot consider here the this particular kind of vascular system where there is a radial manner of arrangement of phloem and xylem. We cannot see that because, so here the protoxylem is going to be arranged towards the periphery, and metaxylem is going to be arranged towards the center, that is towards the pith we can call. So ಆ ತರ arrangement ಗೆ ನಾವು exarch ಅಂತ ಕರಿತೀವಿ. So that's why there is no particular such question is going to arise that radial manner of arrangement can be seen in the exarch. So I will put another thing here. So exarch, there is another arrangement called as endarch. You all know that it is vice versa of exarch, where metaxylem is going to be towards the periphery and the protoxylem is going to be towards the pith or the center. Okay, pith or the center. So now the answer for this question, at last answer for this question is option number C, right? Okay, fine. So the fifth question is saying that conjunctive tissue is present between dash and dash. So dash, between dash and dash, between dash and dash, but in which? So the third one is in which type of plant that is. Okay, so let's see. So we have to look this for this we have to look into the directly we have to look into the particular options. So pericycle and endodermis in dicot root they are saying. So pericycle is a protective layer of vascular bundle which is present, which comes under the endodermis, right? So and endodermis is the first layer of vascular bundle. So vascular bundle na cover madanta first layer like a plasma membrane, right? So endodermis it is not the conjunctive tissues. So now what is conjunctive tissues? First let's know that. What is conjunctive tissues? Conjunctive tissues are a group of parenchymatic cells, so which stores mainly granules and oils. Okay, so Then let's see the option. Then the first answer is wrong. So then let's see the question number option number B. Okay, xylem, phloem, and dicot root. So this particular parenchyma is only parenchymatic cells, that is conjunctive tissues, is only visible in the vascular bundle. Okay, vascular bundle. So they are available in vascular bundle. Then they should be associated with what? Xylem and phloem, right? Xylem and phloem, right? So the it should be present in between xylem and phloem. Okay, fine. Then we have to decide whether this is found only in dicot root or not. Yes, so it is only found in the dicot root, because the granules is the granular particles or oils are going to be stored inside the dicot root itself. It cannot be stored any other, like so you cannot store in the dicot stem. Okay, so that's why, so the answer will be the second one. Okay, the second one will be the answer. Then let's see what are palisade parenchyma and spongy parenchyma, which are found in the dicot leaf. What are they? Let's see. So these two are the parenchyma, elongated parenchyma cells, which are deposited with chlorophylls. So which are deposited with chlorophylls or chloroplasts. Okay, so then the spongy parenchyma, so which is found with the large air vacuoles. So we can see here in between this, the air vacuoles, it is also having the deposition of chloroplast, right? Chlorophyll A or B, okay, presence. So this cannot be the particular whatever the question we have asked, that is the conjunctive tissues. Then in dicot stem, it cannot be possible, because storage is going to happen in a stem. So it would be in the form of fruit or in the root itself, the modified root. So very less number of individuals will have the storage region for dicot stem. So the answer would be, the answer for this question is option number B. Okay, so okay, let's see the question number 6. Let's move on to the question number 6. So that is, identify the major site of biosynthesis of lipids. The biosynthesis of lipids means, so production of production of production of lipids. So where can be seen, where we can see it? So in the given options, they are the, what are those? Those are the apparatus, cell apparatus. Okay, okay, let's see what are those apparatus. The Golgi complex. So the function of the Golgi complex is to help in the transportation between the transportation between the cells. Okay, then if we come to this particular B, the option number B. So you all know that mitochondria will be the power house of the cell which produces ATP, that is energy, right? So that's why it will not produce the lipid. So then the option is left is C, option number C and option number D. So option number C and D are both are endoplasmic reticulums. So one is smooth endoplasmic reticulum, another one is rough endoplasmic reticulum. So we have to know the function itself. So if we know the function of both of them, we are going to find out the answer. Only the answer is lies in between these two options. So smooth endoplasm, what is the difference between them? The main difference is the rough endoplasmic reticulum has what? The deposition of a particular protein, so over its cell membrane. So that is, or we can call it as over its plasma membrane, that is riboforine. riboforin is deposited over it. This helps, and function is helping them to helping the signaling. Acts as a signaling vehicle for the nucleus towards what, towards the cytoplasm. Okay, so then there should be the SER, smooth endoplasmic reticulum. There will be no riboforin deposition, you can see here. So that's why. So and the main function of SER is to produce the lipid. Okay, so lipid in the body. So this particular is very important, and this lipids is also produced in other leaving the SCR. So answer for this question, first let's finish off. The answer for this question is SER, that is smooth endoplasmic reticulum, option number C. So all the other things are wrong. So then I'm talking about other than SCR, that is smooth endoplasmic reticulum, chloroplast and cystosol are also the one of the major we can say components, or the cell components, so which are going to produce the lipids. Okay, so this is the two questions, fifth and okay. So the seventh question, that is the graph we are looking at. The question says that the following graph shows the concentration of substrate on enzyme activity. It means how the concentration of substrate is going to act on the enzyme reaction. So we have to find, just a direct question, what does y axis stands for or represents. ಈ y axis ಯಾವುದಕ್ಕೆ ಸ್ಟ್ಯಾಂಡ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ or represent ಮಾಡುತ್ತೆ ಅನ್ನೋದು ಮಾತ್ರ ನಮಗೆ we have to look it. So which is the this is x axis and this is y axis. Okay, fine. So just we have to know, now we have to simply know that what is concentration substrate. So that principle we have to know. So direct question, as a direct question. So in the x axis it will be the concentration of substrate. Okay, substrate. So the law or the theory says that as the concentration of the substrate increases, so means the not the enzyme, the substrate, as the concentration of the substrate increases, there will be a increase in the rate of velocity of reaction. Means the rate of reaction of enzyme action is going to rise. So this is the important factor which directly affects the rate of the reaction, and it increases for a certain level, and that level is known as V max, that is V maximum. It is known as V maximum. That V maximum, when the concentration substrate reaches the V max level, and there will be a rise in the reaction. Okay, as the rise in the reaction, and in the V max level it maintains a steady level. There will be no increase in that. However, the concentration substrate rises. So concentration substrate rises 20, 40, 80, 90, 100. So you can put so continuously. So there will be no rise in the reaction rate. So in the y axis, that is velocity of reaction. Okay, so answer is velocity of the reaction. Temperature and pH, pressure. So these all are the other type of these all are the other type of other type of enzyme which affects the enzyme activity. So the answer is a velocity of a reaction. Okay, so then you might let's study some more here. That is another line you are looking at here. Okay, what is this? This is the Km value. What is Km value? Km value is nothing but Michaelis constant. The Km value is Michaelis constant. So this Michaelis constant, so this is where the catalyzation of the reaction can be shown. So what is shown? So catalyzation of reaction, catalyzation of reaction. So here it is shown at the half V max, that is half of the time taken by the catalyzation. So in the during the what it is, velocity of reaction at a maximum, so half of it. So how much catalyzation has affected the rate of the reaction, that will be shown through the Michaelis constant, that is denoted as Km. Okay, so this is the answer for the answer. So I'll write the answer itself. The answer for this question is B, option B. Okay, let's move to the next one. Okay, the question number 8 says that in the maize plant CO2 fixation occurs, carbon dioxide fixation occurs in both mesophyll and bundle sheath cells. That means this sentence, first sentence only says that, first two lines only says that, this two lines says what for us? This first two lines says that this maize plant is the C4 plant, right? C4 plant which undergoes the C4 pathway. Okay, that is final, right? Then the enzymes involved in these cells for the process respectively for the generation of, or the for the fixation of CO2, sorry, for the fixation of CO2, for the fixation of CO2, which are those two enzymes actively participate in the C4 plant. Don't concentrate over the maize plant, don't concentrate the process, just concentrate over the you have to concentrate over here. CO2 fixation is taken, how the CO2 fixation is going to take place, and what are the two enzymes in the C4 plant which are active for the fixation of the CO2 fixation. Okay, so then we have to know C4 cycle includes two pathways, right? Two pathways. One where the CO2 is gets fixed, and that CO2 is going to pass into the C3 cycle, right? So it is going to be passed into the C3 cycle. So we have to remember this, we know this C3 cycle, in C3 cycle which is the carbon acceptor, so that is Rubisco, right? Rubisco, this is Rubisco in C3 cycle. Ribulose biphosphate carboxylase enzyme is the CO2 fixator here. CO2 fixator, CO2 fixator, CO2 fixator. So then which one we have to know? So CO2 in C4 cycle, that is C4 cycle, we have to know which is the one that CO2 is going to be fixed. That is PEP carboxylase, PEP carboxylase enzyme, that is phosphoenol pyruvate carboxylase Carboxylase is the enzyme which fixes the CO2 in the first phase of the C4 cycle. Which takes place in the mesophyll. Okay, so then it moves to the C3 cycle, which happens in the bundle sheath. So whenever it moves into the bundle sheath, there will be the again the rubiscose is going to come. Okay, so then let's see what is the answer here. Rubiscose and PEP kinase. No, it is the wrong answer, because rubisco we have to take respectively. So in mesophyll cells, rubiscose will be not be there, and PEP kinase is nothing here. It doesn't do anything here. So PEP kinase and pepsin, no, it is the wrongest answer here. So again, rubisco and PEP carboxylate it has been given in a wrong way. So this is also a so the D is answer. The answer is the answer is D. Okay. Next, let's move on to the next question. So that is ninth question. So the ninth question is saying, in the following reaction, identify X and Y. We have to simply identify X. What are X, fill in the blanks like, and Y, we have to fill in the blank. So here a particular reaction has been given. Okay, reaction is given, that is pyruvic acid is going to react with coenzyme A and NAD plus. And what is the reaction of them? Okay, and what is the these are the reactants, and during the reaction they are going to produce a product, and we are looking at what is that product. Okay, so it reacts in the presence of Mg plus and X, and the product is Y plus CO2, carbon dioxide is going to be released, plus NADH plus H plus. Okay, and H plus. So it looks like what it looks like, you can see here. So it looks like the CO2 is liberating here. So if the CO2 is liberating, so then what might be the process? So what might be the reaction? It is we can say it is one of the respiratory reaction of the plants, right? Because CO2 is releasing here, right? Okay, then let's see, if CO2 has to be released, we can just eliminate the particular options given below. Okay, so if we want CO to be released, so and pyruvic acid has to be degenerated, then which is the option is best, we will look into it. Okay, water, acetyl CoA. So water and acetyl CoA, they are given. Water has H2O. So if in the presence of H2O we consider it, so there will be no release of, I think there is no release of oxygen is going to take place. So let's see next one. Acetyl CoA and pyruvate dehydrogenase. Okay, pyruvate dehydrogenase is the, they are saying why is the pyruvate dehydrogenase? No, never. The option B is saying a complete very wrong statement, because pyruvate dehydrogenase is an enzyme. It is an enzyme. It is not the, it will never be a product, right? So it is an enzyme. So we have to quit that option also. Then let's see the next one, that is pyruvate dehydrogenase and acetyl CoA. Okay, let's concentrate. See, pyruvic acid, okay, reacts with coenzyme A, and NAD plus, in the NAD plus also is one of the reactant, and in the presence of magnesium ion and X. Okay, so we are getting NAD plus, DH plus. The H present in the pyruvic acid will be transferred into this particular NADH NAD plus. For that it will have two hydrogen atom here. So for that purpose, so X should be so pyruvate dehydrogenase, which dehydrates the hydrogen, which splits the hydrogen atom, and this hydrogen atom will be given to this particular NAD. Okay, NAD will be taken. Okay, then one mystery solved. Okay, then now, so when this pyruvic acid is going to be dehydrated, then this particular CoA reacts with the particular pyruvic acid, the remaining molecules of the pyruvic acid, and it is going to be generating acetyl CoA. Okay, that is the Y, acetyl CoA. So we have eliminated all the three, and the answer is option number C. Okay. So the next question, the 10th question is, which of the following factor is favorable for the formation of oxyhemoglobin? That is oxyhemoglobin, which is that oxyhemoglobin in the alveoli of the human lungs. So what is oxyhemoglobin? First we have to know that oxyhemoglobin. So oxyhemoglobin is a complex form of combination of oxygen atoms with what? With hemoglobin. So that's why hemoglobin is called as oxygen carrier, right? So four molecules of oxygen can combine with four molecules of hemoglobin, and it will form a group, and it will move in the bloodstream. So for this formation of oxyhemoglobin, so which is the best factor? So in the given particular thing, which is the best factor uh, for the formation, we have to know that, right? Okay. So now we don't want to focus the options first. Let's see what is the actual condition for this formation of very good factors for. So one is the low pressure of CO2, it should be that. Then the next one, so there should be low temperature should be there. Then there should be low H plus ion concentration should be there, and low pressure high pressure of oxygen should be there. So if these conditions are fulfilled, then there will be a healthy formation of oxyhemoglobin takes place in our body, right? Okay, fine. Then let's see. Now we have learned what are the factors which are important for this. Now we are going to eliminate the options. So high PO2, no, it is wrong. So high concentration of H plus ions, no. Pressure of low pressure of oxygen. So these all are a wrong one. So in this following option, low temperature is the right answer. Only one factor has been given, so which is right here. So then what are these? If the vice versa of this, that is high pressure of O2, then high temperature, if there is a high temperature and high H plus concentration, then low PO2, if this condition is there in the body, there will be so it decreases, it helps in the decrease in the production of oxyhemoglobin content, okay, or oxyhemoglobin in the alveoli, because so as the CO2 rises, as the CO2 rises, the hemoglobin cannot bind to the oxygen because of the less oxygen. So it will bind only the amount of oxygen present in the particular area. So there is no extra amount, where only there will be high amount of CO2 is there. So this is the answer for this question. Answer for this question is B. B is the option, is the answer. Okay, let's see the 11th question. Digestion of both starch and protein is carried out by which enzyme in the given below. So we are going to use the elimination process here. So while learning the each and every options, what functions. Okay, so let's see. First one is gastric juice. So what is the actual function of gastric juice? So the gastric juice dissolves the protein. Only it has the ability to dissolve the protein. So what we have asked, starch and both it has to be dissolved. Then the gastric juice is not our answer. Then comes saliva. Saliva, where saliva is produced in the buccal cavity, right? In the buccal cavity. So saliva is produced in the buccal cavity, and it has the only ability to dissolve starch and starch and glycogen, starch and glycogen. Then comes the bile juice, right? Bile juice. So this bile juice is released from where? It is released from the liver, right? Liver, the bile, through the bile, that is liver. So it only digests which one? It only has the capacity to digest fats, right? Fats or lipids, we call it as lipids, fats or lipid. So then only one option is left with us, that is pancreatic juice. These pancreatic juice are released by, it is a combination of different kinds of uh, enzymes. Okay, that's why it is called as pancreatic juice. For example, it is steapsin in one of the pancreatic juice, so which emulsifies the lipid during the digestion of lipid. It also has the ability to dissolve the lipid. So if we consider this one, so it has the ability, to what? Ability to dissolve protein and starch. It has the ability to dissolve protein and starch. For example, so that is pepsin. Pepsin is one of the contents of the pancreatic juice, so which dissolves proteins. Okay, proteins. Okay, so answer for our question, this question, answer is D. D is the answer. Okay, fine. Now let's move to the next question, that is 12th question. The type of epithelium found in the inner lining of PCT. What is PCT? PCT is proximal convoluted tubule. Proximal convoluted tubule. So this is the part of the nephrons. This is a part of nephron. So which is where what is the type of cells or epithelial cells or tissues which are lined them? So which are inner lining. So here we are getting inner lining. So here also we can use the particular elimination process technique. So by the functions, right? Okay, fine. And it is a direct question. Okay, direct question. So which is that? So squamous what is the function of squamous epithelium? So it is the thin it is the tissue which gives a soft nature for the for any of the if it is lined in the inner layer. So what is the function of PCT? The absorption, right? Absorption. So just remember this function and let's go. Then cuboidal epithelium, it gives the thickness for the thickness for any of the layers, and it also acts as a cushion, right? Then granular, so and this cuboidal epithelium will also be having what? Will also be having the some cilias there, cilias over it. So which acts as brush border, brush border for the for this particular cuboidal epithelium, which increases the surface area for absorption. So this is the right answer for this question, because here we need the more amount of surface area for the absorption, which is given by the cuboidal epithelium, because of its cilia present over it, because of the cilia present over it. So then what is the function of so let's discuss two of them also. The granular epithelium cells. The granular epithelium cells are nothing but they stores the granules, that is means proteins. So these are the protein storing organ cells, we can say, protein storing cells, we can say. Okay, so then the last one, it is ciliated epithelium. What is ciliated epithelium? It is a cilia bearing epithelial cells, which also has the ability to absorb more, but as the size matters, the cuboidal epithelium has the highest, okay, highest area of absorption. The answer is cuboidal epithelium. The 13th question is, select the correct Rh blood groups of the parents whose child is affected with erythroblastosis fetalis. The first for all of you people, two question comes, that is what is Rh blood group, right? And the second one is what is erythroblastosis fetalis. So in simple words, I am going to say, now I am not going to stretch it because now the time is up. So a lot of time has taken. So erythroblastosis fetalis is the is a disease which is caused by incompatibility with of Rh blood group, blood group uh, in through maternal and in between maternal and fetus. Okay, fetus. So the condition should be the whenever, what is the condition for this erythroblastosis fetalis? The condition is the mother is always negative. The mother will be means maternal. Mother is always negative Rh blood group, and the fetus blood group will be so I'll take F as fetus blood group will be positive Rh blood group. Okay, this particular thing has been applied over in the question. So what is Rh blood group then? It is a group of bloods. It's a blood, group of blood groups. So different blood group combined together, and they have been formed as Rh blood group, like D, E, F. Okay, so there are a lot of blood groups are there. For example, it is. So now let's see the application. So just remember this and let's apply this over here. So both father and mother is negative. I think it is wrong, because it can happen. Mother is positive. First thing, it is wrong, because mother should be always have the negative Rh blood group. Okay, then both father and mother are negative. No, because it is father, right? Father, here father, it has been applied. I told you before itself, father has been applied. So we have to consider, we have to correct or we have to take father for fetus. Okay, fetus, we have to consider father as fetus, means the donator there. So mother is negative, so it is not possible. Then last option, father is positive, absolutely. This positive blood group will be given to the fetus. So and mother is negative, so this incompatibility produces the erythroblastosis fetalis, where the individual or the fetus will lose the blood group, blood group not blood cells, not group, lose the blood cells continuously. So it is type of anemia. anemia. Okay, so it is also called as blood anemia, blood anemia, or it is also called as hemolytic 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 anemia. Okay, so this is about the 13th question. So answer will be the D. D is the answer. Okay, next we will move on to the next question, that is in which one second we'll go. Okay, so in which of the following um, groups, which of the following groups do the male and female gametophytes have independent free living existence? So independent free, so in which of the group in the given here? So independent existence means as a male and as a female they will be having a independence, means in one plant only male plant will be there, in the single plant, one plant there will be only you can see male, in another plant so female. That means they are unisexual, that is dioecious. Yeah, so dioecious, right? Dioecious. Okay, fine. So we will see bryophytes and gymnosperms. So bryophytes have this particular kind of unisexuality. All the most of the maximum number of the bryophytes are having the function of this particular unisexuality, but the gymnosperm doesn't have. So a lot of the gymnosperms doesn't have this particular kind of unisexuality. Some of them, only some of them are having. So then whenever we come to the next point, that is bryophytes, yes we have, yes it is right. Then pteridophytes, let's remember what type of reproduction process is going to happen in the pteridophytes. Pteridophytes are also one of the type of unisexual plants. So that's why, so these particular here they live have the independent existence as a male and a female plant. So answer is B. Answer is here B. Pteridophytes and gymnosperms, again, so maximum number is not the present in the gymnosperm. That's why we have to reject this option. There is no other reasons are there. So only maximum number we have taken. So algae, and here also again algae is also having a small number of organisms which have the unisexuality. So that's why we have to reject this. Here bryophytes and pteridophytes, this combination is looking a very good, highest number of, we can see the unisexual organisms. Okay. The next question, that is 15th question, that is the hormone of fight and flight are. So which are those two hormones in the given list? So which is released during the fright fright flight and flight. Okay, fright, fight and flight. So this sees, so the name itself suggests, right? So fright means we can call dar bhaya, or fear, right? Fight, when we are fighting with someone, so with whatever the fighting. Flight means whenever we are flying. So all this condition shows us that the stress level. So stress means, so which is the hormone in our body which is released during the stress? That hormone is that is the hormone which is responsible for this particular uh, released during this particular thing, which is the stress hormone which releases during the during the stress, that is adrenaline and noradrenaline. So these are the two hormones which is released during the stress. Simple thing, direct question, direct answer. So here in the question option number C, your answer is option number C. Okay, so okay, fine. So then we will learn what these other are going to do. This is very important, right? Okay, thyroxine and oxytocin, right? The thyroxine is a is an enzyme which is released through the thyroid gland, which maintains the metabolism or metabolic rate. Okay. Then oxytocin is a hormone which stimulates the production of milk in the female, that is breast milk we call it as. Okay, so that will be secreted also, produced also, and ejected also. Okay, and it also helps during it also stimulates the parturition process. Okay, it also helps the parturition parturition process. Means parturition means the delivery. Okay, delivery of the baby after the 9 months of pregnancy. Then what we know about next is melatonin. What does melatonin does? So this is the enzyme which is released by the pineal gland, and this particular hormone does a very particular work that is sleep sleep and wake cycle. So our sleep and wake cycle, complete cycle, is maintained by the melatonin uh, hormone. Don't confuse with melanin pigment. Okay. Okay, then the last one is gastrin. It stimulates the production of gastric juice, that is HCl, right? Yes. Okay, then secre secretin. What does secretin do? Secretin, it is the hormone which maintains the water balance, water homeostasis, we call homeo homeostasis homeostasis or water balance is maintained in the body, which helps in the secretion of different kinds of enzyme in our body. So the we are now this is what the answer for this question, that is answer number option number C. Okay, and this is all the explanation, whatever the things are there. Okay, fine. Next we will move to the next question, that is 16th question. In the given option, which one cannot propagate? So focus on here, which one cannot propagate by the vegetative means. So where does not, in the given option, where there will be no vegetative propagation is going to happen in the plant, which type of plant? See, a marginal piece of bryophyllum leaf. So definitely there will be in the margin of the bryophyllum, through the nodal region of the leaf, there will be a new shoots is going to arise. Okay, then comes a middle piece of sugar cane. Okay, of internode. So you have seen this. See, so this is, if this is sugar cane, so from where we are going to see the bud? So in the region of nodal region. So we are not going to see any vegetative propagation. This bud is one of the type of vegetative propagule. So we are not going to see any propagules over here. This is the internode, this is the nodal region, and this is the internode. So here is, it is given as internode, right? So this is the option which is where we can say the answer is right. So we have to choose this particular answer, because it is where there is a no vegetative reproduction or vegetative propagation cannot take place. So you know that piece of potato tuber with eyes, yes, right? So where there will be a propagation through the uh, eyes. Okay, tubers. Then piece of ginger, rhizome, through in the rhizome. This is right answer. So here in the region of internode there will be no. Okay, answer for this question is, answer question is B. Okay. Okay. So next question is match the animals of column 1 with the column 2 and select the correct options among the following. Okay, so here don't bother about the question. In question it has been slightly wrong has been given, that it is not animals. The column 1 the column 1 is having the column 1 is having the different kinds of replication process. Okay, different kinds of replication process. And the column 2 is having the enzymes which is used in that particular processes, different kinds of one of the enzymes which is present in that. Okay, so let's solve here itself. No, we don't want to go to the options. Let's solve here. So DNA replication, the first one is DNA replication. So in the following enzymes in the column 2, the best suitable enzyme, so which is used in the DNA replication is DNA replication DNA polymerase. So what does DNA polymerase do? It fills the gap during the process. So wherever there is a gap in the 3 dash 5 dash end, so that will be filled by this DNA polymerase. Okay, there are two types of DNA polymerase, DNA polymerase 1 and DNA polymerase 2. Okay, that is the answer for this particular first and the second one is translation. Translation, in this process of translation, so in the given best is amino acyl synthesis. Translation is the process where the tRNA is involved. So this amino acyl synthesis helps the tRNA to pick up the amino acids. Okay, to pick up the, or we can also say this amino acyl synthesis activates the amino acids to get attached to the tRNA. So either way. Okay, then the third one is transcription. So in the transcription, so for this right answer would be the first one, that is RNA polymerase, because the in this the process of transcription, the RNA polymerase, it is not the direct RNA polymerase, it is DNA dependent RNA polymerase, which increases or which catalyzes the reaction rate. It catalyzes the reaction rate. Okay, okay, fine. So next is last one is fourth one, that is reverse transcription. So this reverse transcription is the it is found only in such some amount of bacteria, so where the mRNA strand is from the mRNA strand there will be generation of DNA, new DNA sequence is going to happen. For that, the enzyme used is reverse transcriptase, that is third one, reverse transcriptase. So now now we can calculate the answer, that 2, 4, 1 and 3. So which option have this particular kind of? That is B. Okay, all the three are wrong. Okay, so B is having this particular function. All the right answers are there. So answer is B. Okay, okay. Next we will move to the next question. Okay, fine. So the next question says that when a pollen grain is shed, okay, I think I have left this 17th question. Sorry, pardon me. Let's complete this 17th question. Uh, among the following statements related to the pollens, choose the correct one. Okay. So statement one is saying that 40% of the angiospermic pollen grains are shed at 3-cell stage. Okay, this is the right this is the correct one, right? What is the question? Among the following statements related to pollens, okay, pollen grains related are right or not, that is the true or false. It is directly true or false. Which statement is true, or which state both are true or both are not true? We can say any options in the given option we can select. So first it is right one. Okay, then statement 2 says that intine is made up of cellulose and pectin, and it is discontinuous with germ pores. So here, sorry, why I am saying sorry, because so intine doesn't have any germ pores, only the exine is discontinuous with germ pores. So germ pores is present in the exine. So if it is a pollen grain, so if this is the So this is the germ pore. So this is the exine. Okay, exine. This is the intine. So intine is made up of, absolutely intine is made up of cellulose and pectin, but it is not discontinuous because the germ pore is present only in the exine. So the statement 2 is wrong. So which is the option we have to going to pick? Both 1 and 2 are correct? No. Both 1 and 2 are incorrect? No. 1 is correct and 2 is incorrect. Yes, right. This is the answer what we are going looking for. And the last one is also, first one is incorrect and second. So answer for this question is C. Okay. Okay. Now we can move to the 19th question. That is, when pollen grain is shed at a 3-celled stage, that is 40% of angiospermic. Okay, so name the cells which get okay. So whenever there is a, so 3 cells are present. Okay, 3 cells are present. What are these combination? In what combination the 3-cell stage is there? So you try to remember, when 2 cell is there, one will be the vegetative cell, another one will be generative cell, which functions as next sperm, right? Next sperm cell. So why the 3-cell stage? So you remember double fertilization. If you remember double fertilization, there will be the 3-celled stage is pollen grain is needed for this particular process, where two sperms are going to be fused with the female gametophyte, right? Okay, so that means two sperms will be there in the three-celled three-celled pollen grain. Okay, okay. So then we do we what is the another one? That is obviously the vegetative cell. So one vegetative cell will be there, one vegetative cell, and two sperms or male gametes will be there. So let's see where is the answer. Okay, first one is the answer, the one vegetative cell and two gametes. Okay, two male gametes. All the other are wrong, because two vegetative cells, no, there will be no. Two generative cells, no generative cells. Two generative cells will be not be there. So it is in the 3-cell stage. So here directly sperm is going to be generated. Uh, then two male gametes and one generative cell. Sorry, this is also a wrong option. So this is answer for this question is A, option A. Okay, okay, fine. Or option 1 you can consider. The last question of this session, that is, even 20th question, even in the absence of pollinators, assured seed set will be there. So it means which type of flowers, or which type of plants doesn't needs what? It doesn't needs any pollinators. Pollinators, which are those type of individuals? So casmogamous flower. So we will eliminate one by one. So in the particular thing only, what is casmogamous flower? It is nothing but the homogamy. Casmogamy is nothing but homogamy. What is homogamy? Homogamy is also known as self fertilization, right? Self fertilization, where the individual is going to, uh, where the individual reproduces by itself. The pollen grain of the same flower is going to be fall on the same stigma of that flower. So that is self fertilization. So this is not the answer, because here there will be what we need a pollinators, because the pollen grain cannot fall on the flowers. Okay, fall on the stigma. So we need here pollinators. Some of the pollinators we require in the maximum cases. Okay, so let's consider maximum cases. Okay, then B is geitonogamy. What is geitonogamy? The geitonogamy is the process of cross pollination. It is cross pollination, where the one pollen grain of the flower is going to be landed over the stigma of the another flower of the same plant. One flower plus to another flower, pollen grain, and pollen grain is going to fall on stigma of the same plant. Okay, then coming to the next one, that is C. Clistogamous flowers. These clistogamous flowers are also called as underground flowers. Underground, I think you come to know now itself. So underground flowers doesn't require any pollinators, because pollinators will not go underground. Any pollinators will not go underground, right? So we don't require any pollinators. For example, groundnut. Groundnut, it doesn't need any pollinators. Then also groundnut is going to be generated. So answer is C. These two are wrong answer. Okay, then the last one, let's see the last one, that is D, xenogamy. It is a complete type of cross pollination, where one flower of pollen of one flower is going to be falling on the flower of the another stigma of the another flower of different plants. Okay, of different plants. Okay, so this is about xenogamy. Okay, so the answer for this question, I'll write here. Answer is option number C. Option number C. Okay. Okay. So this completes our first part of the question paper solving session. Okay. So I think we will stop today. So I before I told you itself, that 20 question only solved in the first paper. So if you like this video, please share, like and subscribe. And bye.